Welcome to Author's Purpose Day 2. Today, we will evaluate the author's purpose in a passage. Now, yesterday, remember, we worked with a picture, an illustration. Today, we're going to be working with a passage. We'll identify clues that indicate the author's purpose. We will summarize and synthesize to better understand the text that we are reading. And then we'll use academic frames to discuss strategies. All right. So, like we do with every time, we talk about learning targets. Now let's review what author's purpose is. The author's purpose is the author's reason for writing a particular text. Okay. What's the goal? What is the author trying to do? Well, they're possibly trying to inform, to entertain, or to persuade. Clues to an author's purpose include content, word choice, style, and what illustrations the author or the publisher decides to use in the publication or the story. And recognizing an author's purpose helps readers understand why the author did what he or she did in the text. All right, so let's look at, when we talk about author's purpose, remember we think about as easy as pie, okay? Meaning, is the author trying to persuade, trying to get you to do something or believe what he is or she is saying? Is the author trying to inform? Are they giving you information about a topic? Or to entertain? Is the author just trying to tell you a story that he or she hopes that you will enjoy? So remember, think about author's purpose being as easy as pie. All right, so let's look today at the article, Some Weather. And, some weather. Cam was just finishing her homework when her brother Jack came into the room. "Hey, Cam," Jack said, "look out the window. Did you ever see clouds that black?" "And look at the neighbor's trees," Cam added. "The wind is blowing so hard that they're almost touching the ground." Just as Cam spoke, hailstones as large as golf balls began to clatter to the ground. "That's some weather," said Jack. "I'm checking the forecast now." "A tornado has been spotted just north of town," the TV weather forecaster was saying. "Take shelter immediately." And with that, the TV went blank. "Come on," called Jack. "We'd better take shelter now." "I've always heard the best place to go in a tornado is the basement," Cam reminded him. "But Cam," whispered Jack, "we don't have a basement." All right. So yesterday when I looked at the Hockey is My Game poster, I thought about the most important ideas of the picture and text, in the picture and text. I thought about what I already knew about hockey and ice skates to summarize what the poster was showing. I'll show you how I do this, okay? So Cam was just finishing her homework when her brother Jack came into the room. This story is about a brother and a sister at home. They see stormy weather outside, and then they find out a tornado is nearby. They know they have to take shelter right away. I've read stories like this in which there is danger for the characters, and they have to act fast to save themselves. These stories are very suspenseful and exciting to read. "Hey, Cam," said Jack, "look out the window. Did you ever see clouds that black?" "And look at the neighbor's trees," Cam added. "The wind is blowing so hard that they're almost touching the ground." Just as Cam spoke, hailstones as large as golf balls began to clatter the ground. "That's some weather," said Jack. "I'm checking the forecast now." "A tornado has been spotted just north of town," the TV weather forecaster was saying. "Take shelter immediately." And with that, the TV went blank. "Come on," called Jack. "We better take shelter now." "I've always heard the best place to go in a tornado is a basement," Cam reminded him. "But Cam," whispered Jack, "we don't have a basement." This story does not give a scientific explanation of tornadoes. The story holds my attention because it is exciting. I want to read on to find out what the characters do to solve their problems. Okay? Now, when we talk about author's purpose, one way that we can talk about author's purpose was with these sentence frames. The story characters have a problem because, the story gets more and more exciting as, summarizing and synthesizing help me, Okay, so this is one way to talk about author's purpose. Okay, so let's look back at our story here. We'll read it one more time. Um, some weather. Cam was just finishing her homework when her brother Jack came into the room. Hey, Cam, Jack said, look out the window. Did you ever see clouds that black? And look at the neighbor's trees, Cam added. The wind is blowing so hard that they're almost touching the ground. Just as Cam spoke, hailstones as large as golf balls began to clatter to the ground. That's some weather, said Jack. I'm checking the forecast now. A tornado has been spotted just north of town, the TV weather forecaster was saying. Take shelter immediately. And with that, the TV went blank. Come on, called Jack. We'd better take shelter now. I've always heard that the best place to go in a tornado is the basement, Cam reminded him. But Cam, whispered Jack, we don't have a basement. Now, think about the contents of this passage. What is the first clue to its purpose? Okay, so why don't you take some time and I want you to fill out the clues section here and look closely to find the clues that tell the author's purpose. What are some clues you notice that tell the author's purpose? Okay, so why don't you take some time, pause the video and fill that out. When you're done, restart the video and we'll talk about it, okay? All right, so hopefully you took some time, you filled out the clues section. Let's see how well your list and my list match. Okay, so for the clue is the author's telling a story and building suspense in the story. All right, so the clues help us figure out what the author's purpose is in this text. Is it to inform, to entertain, or to persuade? Let's think about some clues the author has given. The first thing we notice is the illustrations. What do the illustrations show? Okay, so you see a word boy and girl and a tornado whirling around a neighborhood. Okay, how does this help you figure out the author's purpose? It shows, I would say that it shows that the author is trying to build suspense or concern for this boy, for the boy and the girl. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to spend some time right now and I'd like you to think about what is the author's purpose. So think of pie. Is it to persuade? Is it to inform? Or is it to entertain? So why don't you pause on the video and write what you think the author's purpose is. When you're done, restart the video and we'll be ready to roll. Okay, fifth graders, hopefully you took some time and wrote what you think the author's purpose is. Now, when I read the little excerpt, the little story, this is what I thought it was. I thought it was to entertain. Because if we go back, and I probably, the building of suspense, the character development, just telling a story that, we don't have a lot of facts, scientific facts. We don't have someone saying that we should make a decision. So this is very much a story meant to get to entertain us, okay? So why don't you take some time to answer the questions in your packet for Unit 8, Week 1, Day 2. How does summarizing and synthesizing the text help you as a reader? How does knowing an author's purpose help you understand what you are reading? And then what kinds of clues help you determine the author's purpose? All right, and then we will have a Flipgrid today, and it's how will you use what we have practiced today when you read on your own? And it's very important that you don't just say, oh, I just do this. We just try and use our good reading skills when we're watching these videos and stuff like that. But it's how are we taking what we've learned and what we practice and how to bring it into our normal everyday reading experiences. Okay, but again, take time and answer the questions in your packet and then check out the Flipgrid for today. All right, nice work.